August 14, 2025. This is the S&P 500 E-Futures Mini on the 2000 tick chart using NinjaTrader 8. This is what the chart looked like today. Kind of a carryover from yesterday. There was a drop, a pretty big drop. The economic data that came out at 5:30 Pacific Standard, which is about right here. You see this big drop that happens. That was the core PPI number, and it looked like it was caused this big drop here because they could see from here roughly it's in about 10 minutes. Then right before the open, there's a spike, kind of a couple pushes up, and then a move upwards here with several swing legs. Now, this final yellow channel has evolved from where it was initially because I actually had it cutting a little bit differently each time, and then is eventually what I ended up with. And the channel that I actually had drawn was one of the justifications for me taking my one and only trade, which is a higher low. But then if you drew this one, it doesn't look like I really have a key entry point other than this low of the trading range. And then it kind of hits a peak, pushes down, looks like on two legs, two measured legs, bottoms out here, kind of a support area. Looked like there was some kind of channel here, pushes up, sells off, another two legs up, kind of gets choppy and pushes into the close. Overall, I would say it kind of looks like a big M shape or maybe like a skewed W structure. But for the most part, it was just kind of sideways with a bullish bias. So I'm going to get into the trades right now. The pre-market looks like it was just choppy. It looked like initially it was a range, but then the core PPI numbers came out, flushed down, bounces, flushes down again, and this is in a span of 10 minutes. So it's quite a lot of movement here. You can see it went from 64.91 to 64.53. It's like a 40-point drop. So it pushes up on this channel. Kind of looks like it was moving sideways, and then it pushes out into the open. Now on the open, I see a localized new high. It's a first entry long, pullback. Technically, I have a second entry long here. And then this is, so this isn't really a high or low. You could say it's a visual first entry, pullback, second entry. Now, I saw this in real time. If I can draw this, it looks like there's a potential triple test area here. This isn't really a higher low because it's actually lower than this guy, but I saw such a strong push up. I thought there might have been a trade here, but there's no real way for me to justify an entry. And you don't know that this is going to show up because it could easily just keep chopping around, and this could have been actually a trading range, but you don't know that in real time. Prices continue moving up. So at this point, I actually had my channel drawn something like this. So this is the channel I was playing, this red one right here. Bounces here. Localized new high. You only have a first entry long, another localized new high. And this is actually where it sets up the first possible trade. So it looks like it's in a trading range, clearly in a trading range. Bounce off the bottom of the trading range. Bounce off. So this is the channel that I had. It looks like it's bouncing off this range support and off this channel support. Now the high side I don't really trust because it really only has one confirmation. But when you're drawing a channel and it has a bunch of confirmations in the direction of the bias, that's great because here I'm definitely looking to go long and not so worried about going short because if I was looking to go short, then I definitely wouldn't use this as a key entry point. But if I'm looking to go long, I like the confirmations because it's one touch. Okay, one touch, two, maybe one touch here. So second touch, maybe a third touch, and definitely another touch here. So something like this into the direction of the bias, I like when there's confirmation here. So even though it's kind of a weak channel, it does have a good trend line. So I thought this is a possible trade. Good signal bar, enough room for a 1-point scalp. But I kind of saw this in hindsight because I didn't trust this channel going up all that well until, to be honest, this candle formed. Then I actually thought, okay, this might be actually a good support. But by then, this had already set up. So if you're faster than me and you actually trust your chart read a lot better than I am, or just better at reading charts, there's probably a possible trade here. And then I thought there might be a higher low here, but I don't like that I'm pushing against the top of the trading range. Then it confirms, so you don't know it's going to do that. Prices continue moving up. So this transparent red one's kind of the channel I'm playing at the moment in real time. So there's a breakout here, pushes down is like a first entry long. Technically, you have a second entry long. Second entry long. This is the signal bar. It's the inside bar. It's a first break of this red up channel, so you're expecting prices to go back in, but it also looks like it's all part of this one leg down. So it could easily, on the next candle, bounce against this resistance and continue down. So wasn't sure, had to wait. Prices continue moving up. Hits this sideways consolidation. There are second entries. You could technically find second entries by the technical count, but they're not really good because it's new localized low. First entry short, second entry short, inside bar, nothing particularly that I like there. Here creates a second entry long, so it's a localized high. First entry long, pull back, second entry long. Second entry long also looks like two measured legs down, still within this trading range. It sets up for my first trade. So here, it's a confirmation of the second entry long, which I didn't really think is a good trade at the time because this is with this is below the EMA. Now, this is a trading range. Whether how you drew this, you could argue there's one touch here, two touch, three touch. But when it's something like this first one I really don't count as a touch because it wasn't really a attempt to push it down. So there's not really a triple test. It's more of a double test. But it made two legs down. Overall bias. Whoop, didn't mean to do that. Overall bias is clearly bullish. This push up, I wasn't really sure if this is valid anymore because it had a break and it's looking to move sideways. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this for now just for clarity. A different channel that I had drawn was something right here from this. Looked like it touched pretty well. Oh, that got skewed. So I had something like this. So this transparent red channel is kind of what I was playing at the time. So it looks like it still touches pretty well. It's a little skewed. And I thought, okay, one touch, two touch, three, third touch area, fourth touch. So clearly it likes this channel. It's running parallel to this eventual yellow one, but the yellow one doesn't exist yet because I didn't have it drawn yet. So I was playing this transparent one. I like those two legs down, good signal bar, lows below the EMA, so it made me pause. I want to look for a higher low, and here you get your higher low. So it actually opens, breaks below, looks like it's bouncing off this potential trading range support, pushes up. I quickly drop my order right at the highs of here to try to get a little bit of a reduced risk. And there is enough room for a 2-point scalp, but again, I'm just being conservative. I just went for 1 point, pushes up, get my quick 1 point, and just called it good. I didn't go for any runners today. Pushes up and it pushes out. So going for 2 points definitely would have gotten you there, but it does get you closer to the top of the range. And it would be pushing against the high of the range, which I was a little not super confident on. But keep in mind, I'm playing the red range. It comes back down. I'm thinking there's going to be a bounce here. If there is a bounce, so I really like that. But then it pushes through. So it's also coming down this orange down channel. Break, test the low. Starts pushing up. So this is the first break of this transparent red up channel. The first entry short. Technically have a second entry short. Made a higher high though. So no real trade setup there. I would be looking for a lower high, but the lower high, I'm a little weary because overall prices are showing it's very bullish. So I don't want to go short on a very bullish push like this. He's pushing upwards. So now I have a break on the low side, and now I have a break on the high side. And it keeps going up. New high. You have a first entry long. Okay, it was at this point I looked back and I said, this transparent red channel, I'm going to go ahead and color it in real quick. Let's just say make it big red. I was playing this, but then I noticed if I actually started it down here, it had a spike and then a more gradual channel. It looks like it touches once here, touches pretty nicely here, touches a third time here, touches a fourth time without the breakout here, because I'm thinking maybe this yellow one's in play. And then it looks like it touches pretty well there. So that's that point. I expanded this red channel to this yellow channel, and also fit nicely when you expand the red one, touches pretty nicely at the 1, 2, third touch. So I ended up thinking the overall channel, which took a little bit of time for me to actually discover, is this yellow up channel. Because as previously I had the channel kind of cutting up a little bit more aggressively, then there was a breakout and it kept going. So this, I'm thinking this is the yellow channel that should be played. There's also a potential green down channel moving here. I'm looking for a potential bounce and move back in. But it starts breaking out and it starts moving down this green down channel. So I'm still expecting a test of this yellow up channel. It doesn't really give you any clean second entries with any good key entry points. There was a new low first entry short, but the count resets because it makes a new low. It's only a first entry short. Prices then continue moving and it starts moving down. So this green down channel may or may not be in play anymore because it had such an aggressive push out and a dwell time outside. So I actually found this gray one. I saw maybe it's one touch, maybe this is the touch. And so maybe this gray one's in play. I'm going to go ahead and reduce the green one just for clarity. I'm not that confident the green one's in play anymore. I'm thinking I'm in this gray one. There's a fail breakout here, pushes down. I was debating whether I should drop it down to here, but then it kind of doesn't have these good touches here. So I kind of left it back here for now. Left it as a fail breakout, new low, first entry short, second entry short. This would have been a good setup, except depending on how you played it, I treat it as a fail breakout. So I'm reluctant to take the first, second entry in the same direction as the original bias because there could be a stronger push up in a corresponding symmetrical breakout here. However, if you drew it this way, then you don't have a break. You could have a first entry short, pullback, potential second entry short. Second entry short's confirmed now, but it had made a measured leg down. So you're hitting a potential support area. In this case, it reverses back up. It creates a visual second entry short. So I thought, okay, it looks like it's one push up, second push up. So visual first entry short, second entry short. What stopped me, I thought this is a possible trade. It is aggressive because this is a third touch confirmation of this gray down channel. It's a great signal bar. What I didn't like was it closed above the EMA. What could have saved this is, besides closing above the EMA, if it closed at the low, then I would have thought, okay, it's helping the cause or helping the argument to go short because it did close at the low. But as you can see, there were still enough buyers to push it up by one tick. So that gives me a little bit of hesitation. Plus, keep in mind, if you trade it like this, then you could say, yeah, definitely it's going to come back down. But I wasn't trading it like this. I was trading it as such. So I saw it as the first entry short, second entry short, in the same direction the original bias with a breakout. So I'm more cautious. I'm looking for a lower high now, lower high confirmation. But if you took this trade, I thought it was more aggressive. It would have worked out pretty well, like here. Definitely after this bar closed, I was not going to try to enter a trade because it's going to hit what I thought was the measured move potential support area. Kind of chops around. You do have a lower high here, but again, it's when you see this, it's already too close to this. It looks like prices might be starting to struggle to push down and through here. It moves down this gray down channel pretty nicely. This failed breakout, it actually looks like, in hindsight though, this actually might have been reasonable, this bigger channel. But by then, by the time I got here, it was too late. This trade already moved. Prices start moving up. It's a localized new low. First entry short. Technically, you have a second entry short, but it looks like first entry, second entry, but then starts moving sideways, maybe in a trading range. Pushes up, still within this potential yellow up channel. Break, starts coming back down. Technically, you have a new high. First entry long, pullback. You technically have a second entry long here, but it does feel like it's all part of the same leg. Yes, you might have been able to get a quick 1 point scalp here, but it just felt dicey. It's kind of bouncing off in the middle of nowhere. Price continue moving down, starts reversing. So it's a new low. First entry short, pullback. I was thinking there might be a second entry short here, but I don't like the signal bar. It is a second entry short. Would have been enough for 1 point scalp, but seeing this in real time, I'm not ready to take a trade to go short. Plus, it's the first entry short, second entry short above the EMA. So if the EMA was this blue line that curled back up and had a rejection, failed to break through or close above, then it'd give you another key entry point. But right here, you don't have it. Pushes down. Now it looks like it's pushing through. So you do have a lower high here. So it's a new low, first entry short, second entry short, push up. This could be a lower high with a decent close below. I wasn't sure if this support was going to come into play because it did break down below further. In this case, it would have worked. I also saw a new high, first entry long pullback, second entry long. So second entry longs confirmed here. I thought this is actually a possible trade. Excuse me. So this break, so excuse me, this push down on the green down channel has tested the low. So it looks like there was kind of like a, it had it slightly like that. Looks like there was a break. It has technically kind of tested low, made 2 attempts down, and now it's looking like 1 attempt up, second attempt up. In this case, looks like it was 2 legs, but it also could be 1 big leg. I was thinking there's going to be a test of the high of this yellow up channel, or it could make 1 leg for 1 attempt, 2 attempt. It could make a second leg about the same size as this yellow up channel. It's a decent signal bar. What I also liked it is it ticked 2 ticks below the previous, engulfed it, and closed the high. So I thought there was a possible trade here. The thing about this possible trade, if I entered 1 tick above, then this candle forms and it fails to break above and it's bearish. After seeing this, if I kept it 1 tick above, I'm pretty sure I would have canceled the order. But I believe, it's hard to really say though, I would have tried to reduce the risk and put my entry 1 tick above this original signal bar. In which case, when this one closes, this candle would have had me enter, but when it closes like this, it would have made me a little weary. And then this candle likely would have given you the 1 point scalp, and prices continue moving. I see a triple test here. 1 attempt down, second attempt down, third attempt. This is where the triple test is, but it just kind of feels a little congested. It would have worked though. Prices continue pushing up on this red up channel, break, test the high, and it starts moving in a more shallow fashion. Starts moving up. I draw this transparent red up channel, but it doesn't fit quite well because it's the first confirmation is way up here. It kind of fits on the high side, but it doesn't fit quite well. So I'm just waiting for more price action to either confirm that I can color in this channel or kind of like tell me that this channel really isn't valid. Turns out this channel, it doesn't really help at all for a trade setup. New high, it's a first entry long. Technically, you have a second entry long here, a potential support area. Break of this orange down channel has made 1 attempt down. So here, this is your signal bar for like a visual, well, actually even a technical first entry long pullback, second entry long. Second entry long is confirmed. I'm not sure. I just didn't quite like this because this is also making kind of a slowly moving down lower highs. So I wanted a higher low, ideally in the next couple candles. Seeing the follow through definitely would have made me, well, it did make me very hesitant to try to go long, but I'm not ready to go short yet either because the overall bias of today is a little ambiguous. It's just up, down, up, down, up, down. It's just in this giant choppy range. Then the next follow through candle, again, I'm not ready to take any kind of trade, so definitely just sitting on my hands. Pushes up, starts coming down. So I drew this trend line coming down, turned it into a channel, something closer to this. New low, first entry short, second entry short, nothing I particularly like. It looks like this might be starting to be contain all the price action. I did see this as a new low, first entry short, second entry short. I drew this as an arrow because technically it's the same height as this, but it's closed so nicely. I thought, is there a kind of like a lower high here because it's also getting rejected by this trend line coming down. What I didn't like is there is some kind of support, which I drew as this blue line. So I'd be shorting into this potential support. It has broken through previously, but it's just, it didn't successfully break through here. And, I was just not sure. So I decided to leave it alone. It would have worked. Prices start moving down. Instead of having this overshoot, I dragged it slightly lower to try to encapsulate this all. New low, first entry short. Technically, you have a second entry short setting up, but it closed here. So it's a first entry short. Now you have a confirmed second entry short. I'm looking for a lower high, ideally to push up, touch the EMA, and then flush down. You could say this is a lower high, but it's not correct in the setup or in the context. Pushes up and out, starts pushing up this green up channel, break, first attempt, so it's a first entry long, pull back. This creates a second entry long triple test. Excuse me. Break of the screen up channel, wants to test the high. It is a first entry long pullback. Potential second entry long. There is a triple test. One attempt down, second attempt, third attempt. Excuse me. EMA is starting to hold. I really wasn't sure until I saw this follow through that I saw, okay, first entry long, second entry long confirmed. So if you're more aggressive, you probably would have jumped in earlier than I did. But this candle had it closed at the high. That would have given me a little bit more confidence that I could trust the triple test. Tested the green up channel after the break with a good signal bar. This is arguably a decent signal bar, but I just want a slightly better one. Of course, you don't know this is going to happen. And once this one closes, now it feels too late to try to enter the trade. Like the trade has already been done. Pushes up and out, creates this measured leg, first attempt, pull back, excuse me, not first attempt, first leg up, pull back, second leg up, pushes down, kind of a triple top here, pushes up. So technically it's only a first entry long. Technically you have a second entry long here, but if you look at this, this is just very, very side by side. The follow through isn't that convincing because it looks like it's just piano keys setting up. Pushes down, pushes up, kind of hits this localized high, kind of confirming the measured leg. But you have a new high, first entry long, second entry long, bad signal bar. Nothing I particularly like. High or low, but it's already pressing toward the highs. Plus, you're entering the last 10 minutes of the day, which prices it's harder to trust and no real motivation to try to take a trade, especially if I was already green for the day. Pop the one trade. And it pushes up and then flushes down. So overall, the volume is a little bit better, but there were some trades, but not too many. Was able to get one trade. And as I've said before, I'm hoping these summer dry spells kind of pick up and you get a little bit better trading and better setups. So not the not the best trading. It was a little ambiguous early on. I had trouble figuring out. I ultimately settled on this yellow up channel, but I had all kinds of channels cutting through trying to capture this price. So it's a little harder for me to find this early on, but at the time it did. I did have a channel that I could use as another key entry point for the higher low. But when you see this yellow one now, looks like this higher low doesn't really have anything except for maybe this trading range. So hopefully that was helpful.